I don't know how to feel with this game because it kind of leaves a bitter, a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know if to be happy or to be happy that we were able to nick a point from the game, having um, it's just crazy, guys. All right, guys. Welcome back to the 6 yard banter, your front row seat to the Premier League top six drama with the Chelsea twist. Yeah, it's Chelsea first and rivals next. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm disappointed at the fact that we conceded a late equalizer from Brentford. And I feel really frustrated, to be honest. I feel so frustrated because you came from behind, having started sluggishly in the first half. The first half just looked so sluggish, and it didn't look like we actually had Chelsea's plan was clicking. So this game just served drama tonight. Chelsea drew 2-2 with Brentford in a match that had everything, to be honest. An early counter punch and a big halftime shake up. A superb comeback, and that stoppage time scramble that robbed us of the 3 points. So let's quickly walk through the lineup, that moment that mattered, and what went missing, how the sub changed the game, and yeah, what this means for Chelsea in the match week 4. So yeah, Maresca picked the lineup with Sanchez in goal, Wesley Fofana, Trevor Chalobah, and Tosin Adarabioyo, and Joel Hato in the back line with Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez at the midfield, and Facundo Buonanotte as the 10. Pedro Neto, Jimmy Gittins, and Joao Pedro. Then he had the bench, sub bench included Cole Palmer, Garnacho, Rhys James, Marco Corella, Tariq George, Jorgensen, Josh Archempong, and Malo Gusto. Esteval was missing because Maresca confirmed earlier that Esteval was feeling sick. And when you look at this game, the lineup, you could tell that it's trying to protect players and also prepare them for. It was looking ahead of looking forward to the Bayern Munich game. And yeah, you wouldn't really blame him because that's what he has, and those are the players he's got at his disposal. So how the match unfolded at the 35th minute, Kevin Shaddy finds a rapid counter after a brilliant Jordan Henderson's pass. That ball took a nick off Tosin, and just like the same mistake Tosin made against the Fulham during the Fulham game, where thankfully, through the controversial decision at the Fulham game, where the goal was cancelled, the same repeated himself. It repeated itself today again, and it's very weird that Tosin is struggling to close down his opponent as fast as he can, or try to recover from being turned around and all that. Okay, and when you look at this, Chelsea were punished for a lack of concentration in transition. At the halftime, Maresca reacted when, as you can, because that first half just looked so sluggish. Like Chelsea was just so sluggish, and Maresca had to react. He clearly didn't like the first half, so he brought on Rhys James, Marco Corella, and Tariq George. All came on at the halftime with Ato Fofana and Buonanotte taking off in the straight overall. That showed intent from Maresca, showed that they wanted a different balance and more leadership out wide and at the back. At the 56th minute, Kopama made an impact. He as he replaced Jamie Gittins, and 5 minutes later he volleyed home to make it a 1-1 after being down at halftime from Kevin Shade in the first half. His fresh legs and movement immediately changed Chelsea's attacking tempo, and you could see that momentum shifted in Chelsea's favour. In the 79th minute, Garnacho was introduced, and it made an instant impact, and one that led to an 85th Caicedo's thunderbolt strike from out just at the edge of the box 18, and it was Garnacho's cross that caused the scramble, and Chelsea led with a 2-1, and it looked like Chelsea was already, it looked sealed. And in the 90 plus 3 minutes, it was a long throw, and Carvalho from Brentford passes on a chaotic long throw, and that scrambled at the back post, and the ball finds its way to Carvalho, and then he tapped it, and that it felt like a knife went through my chest. I'm not gonna lie. I felt really heartbroken. Now I don't know what to blame for that, because I don't know what Sanchez was doing in the midst of the players. If he was going to attack, if he was going to win the ball, I feel like he should have done better to win it than just stay, and then at the dying minute you want to retreat. Retreat to where? I really do not understand. It is decision in moments like this that cost Chelsea last season, and I hope we're not about to see a repeat of it. And then what went missing? The real issue is that we're lacking physical presence as focal point. João Pedro is not a physical presence. He's a roaming or a fluid player who can play as a 9, he can play as a 10, and as a winger. Okay, so with Liam Delap out, we are missing physical or focal points through which Chelsea can play. When Chelsea played against West Ham with Liam Delap leading the line, you could see how Chelsea had exits, because Liam Delap was able to draw the two centre backs away from him, towards him, creating opening channels for the attackers to run through and all that, and which led to Estevao having his first assist against West Ham during the West Ham game. Today we looked like it was obvious that the physical presence in Delap was missing. Delap was not there, and it's just reminiscent to what happened last season, having Jackson and Nkunku as the only two strikers. This is the same thing we're having with Liam Delap and João Pedro as the forward line, to lead the line. Now Liam Delap is not there. We only have João Pedro. Even McGill was recalled from his loan, was not even named on the bench. So what does that mean? It means that Maresca is simply telling the board that this is just not enough. And I'm still sure, next season we have Emmanuel Emega, but what are we going to do from now till the time that we have Emmanuel Emega? It's just crazy. Okay, so what went missing for Chelsea, I'll just be brief with this, because the first half, the control, we lacked control in the first half, and Chelsea, we just looked so flat. Too many sideway passes and no real plan to break Brentford's compact block. That allowed allowed Brentford to counter profitably through the swift counter, and Maresca's reaction at halftime showed that he wasn't satisfied, and that things were missing and things needed to improve. And we also look shaky defensive wise, and during set piece defending and long through. The equalizer at the 93rd minute came from a long throw, and I don't know. I really, really do not know. I'm still so not convinced with Robert Sanchez leading, with being in the center of the stick. Chelsea's marking and close range discipline fell apart. If you're going to close out tight games like this, we really, really need to be cleaner in those moments, and that's a coaching and attention issue. Okay, we sleep and lose focus too easily, and it's it's there again. It's starting to show itself again. I thought we've been over this already. Now, too many rotations without the right balance. I understand that Maresca was trying to protect players like Rhys James, who's not had so much rest, having played 2 games during the international break, and then only to come back and be it's not had enough time, like Cucurella as well. Then the long trip to for Joao Pedro, and yeah, so it's just I understand that it's trying to rotate players and protect players, fitness and all that, but I think maybe it could have the best thing was to start them, and then when we if Chelsea was already comfortable with Leeds and all that, you could have just rested them and brought on other players to replace them. Anyway, the substitution worked, and even though we were not able to see out the 3 points, it still showed that Maresca was reactionary, and it's better 1 point than nothing. I don't know. The standard at Chelsea has really dropped. At one point in time, Chelsea was 12 points out of 4 games, and the barest minimum was a 10 out of 12. And now we're scrambling and happy to take 8 points. I mean, it's unlike the Chelsea that I used to know. It's just like when Drogba said, "I don't recognize this team anymore." I really, really don't. Anyway, at halftime, triple swap. Rhys James came on, Cucurella came on, and Tariq George, and it worked tactically. You could see the shift, more leadership and more balance, and more physicality and energy from Tariq George and Marco Cucurella. Those subs really, really steadied the ship. Cole Palmer's impact in the 56th minute, which where he volleyed the equalizer and gave Chelsea more balance. There were more focal points and sharper link-up plays. That showed why having Palmer in the team is a huge plus. The way he drifts and the way he creates and moves, roams, just unsettles defenders and teams. In the 79th minute, rather, Garnacho was introduced, and his direct delivery, which led to the Caicedo's finishing. He added width and danger, and the problem is that this good attacking moment was not we didn't see it off. Okay, and this is because we showed lapse in concentration at the time in it where it mattered most. That late equalizer was just not it for me at all. It was just not it for me. So I'll just quickly make a few mentions, player mentions, player to praise and players to where I feel like they need to do better. It looks like the first praise goes to Cole Palmer, because thankfully his injury is not as feared, and it looks like he's gotten over his groin issue. And then we can also talk about Moses Caicedo. I'm just so happy that we have Caicedo in our team. If Liverpool had signed Caicedo, only God knows what we'll be doing. The rest of the team should just shut up shop and give the league to Liverpool if Liverpool had successfully taken Moses Caicedo. Now, players with question marks, Jamie Gittins, he still looks like he needs time to adapt. Garnacho came on in the second half and looked sharper and more settled than Jamie Gittins. And yeah, so Jamie Gittins, he needs to work harder. Okay, so yeah, Fofana was brought off. Okay, and he started the game and then subbed off. The comeback, it's not a comeback statement that we hoped for because yeah, it would have been nice if Chelsea had seen out the 2-1 win. We had seen out the game when we had the lead. So what does this draw means for us? It means that we're just within the top six in the fourth game of the season, match week 4. The factual check is that with that 2-2 draw, Chelsea now we have 8 points from possibly 4 games where Chelsea used to do a clean sweep on 4 games. Now we're settling for 8 points. It's what it is today. Standards have really dropped, and even though we look unbeaten, I feel like Maresca is going to be feeling hard done by, and he cannot blame the players. This is just what he has available for him. So we cannot blame Maresca. We can't say he's failed. We're still unbeaten, but this result underlines the recurring theme. We are not closing games, and the squad occasionally lacks the experience and composure to see out tight away games like points like this. Elsewhere, Arsenal won against Nottingham Forest 3-0, with Zubimendi scoring a brace and Gyökeres. Newcastle saw out a 1-0 lead against Wolves, and Tottenham won 3 goals. And it's just Chelsea in North London who drew the game. This is what I feel Chelsea need to do tactical wise, is that we need to find out we have to be more defensively compact where we need to defend, and we should do better with our zonal markings and near post responsibilities for long throws and corners. Tonight's equalizer is a fixable and avoidable one, and then we need to, if they have to do constant repetitions in this area, maybe they need to do that. And I know that Maresca is trying to protect players and all that, but it's best that he keeps the spine of the team most times than not in the team. And if it has to get to a point where he wants to protect them, he can just take them out at halftime and allow other players come on to see out the game. We are still lacking in closing mentality. Mental fortitude to see out games like this is still lacking in the team. So the talking point is that Palmer came off Palmer is over his injury. That's the most important thing, and so that's all. That's my match reaction for the whole game today, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really disappointed. Anyway, so I'll be here to give my match reaction with regards to the game between Manchester United and Manchester City, as well as the Liverpool game against Burnley. And if there's any other thing that comes up tomorrow, I'll be here to bring it up here and we'll talk about it. But until then, it's Chelsea first and rivals next. Peace.